Hello, friends and fellow adventurers. Thank you for joining us here on Rolling Solo RPG. Today, we're going to be doing the 21st episode of Zargo's Tale. As always, thank you for joining me. So, at the end of last episode, we stopped in the middle of a fight. We rolled a random event. Amari is currently being turned into a vampire in the other room that our heroes don't know about, but we do. And I found that I had a little bit of extra time. As soon as I stopped recording the last episode, I immediately hit record again, and here we are. That way, I can just continue our battle. I don't have to remember where I stopped last week or whatever it would be. So let's get on with it. So our fight continues. It is the workers' turn. Now we have currently these 4 workers here, ready to fight our heroes. They were commanded by the overseer up here to go and see what's going on over there. The overseer doesn't know that we've murdered already 4 of her workers, but she is going to soon find out, as we're going to murder all the ones that she just sent over here as well. So, first up, we're going to have this one, and they are going to 5, 10, 15. Now, Vega had her action ready from last turn to strike whoever stepped into one of these squares, which this worker has just done. So Vega's going to make 1 strike. She did not make any strikes during her turn when she readied that action, so it is still at the full bonus of +9 for her short bow. And that's a 5 plus 9, which is going to be, of course, a 14, which, what do you know, 1 point. The trend continues, 1 point shy of being able to hit. You know what? Vega gets a hero point. I'm going to burn her hero point immediately. 7, that's a hit. Thank you, hero point. But that is only going to be a d6 with no bonuses. 2 points of damage to the right leg, but that's all right. I'll take it. And that was Vega's one and only hero point for this game, because I only give 1 hero point. I might change that in the future, but for right now, that's what I'm saying. An arrow flies through the air, landing right in the thigh of this worker, slowing it down. I'm going to say that stopped its movement there. So it's going to have to use a second action. It would have had to use a second action either way to continue movement, so I'm really not changing the dynamic too much of that. So 5, 10, 15 was its second action, and its third action. I'm going to roll this red dice, and if it rolls a friggin' 18, 19, or 20, I'm dismissing it and getting some other dice for our enemies. Yep, first strike for our enemies. Lucky you. That's still a 21 to hit, which is a hit. And if I remember correctly, that's a d4 minus 1 for these guys. Right in the torso for 4 minus 1, 3 points, basically max damage. All right. All right. Vega is just a little over 1/3 health. She's going to have to do some healing, I think, before this. Brack has battle medicine, but Vega also has some potions, so I might just have her use a potion when it comes back around to her turn. Regardless, that was 3 turns for 3 actions for our first worker's turn. We're just going to start here at the top. It's going to be 5, 10. All right, so that was all of their turns to get into position, but our heroes are now surrounded. Vega does have and Zargo both can kind of get out. I bet if Breck needed to, he could squeeze down by these barrels. I'd make him just take some extra movement to do that. I don't think they're going to need to. Zargo is up. She has not taken a single hit yet, and she has been delivering some hella blows. They are not currently flanking anyone. I think Zargo's just a headstrong fighter, so she's just going to tear through the thick of this to get through. First strike, first action with a 6 plus 11. That is going to be a 17 total to strike. I didn't designate which one she was striking, but is the one directly to her left there. And that is going to be a D8 plus her 4 in the right leg. 3 plus 4 is going to be 7 points of damage. Ooh, almost took that one out. I think if I had rolled those separately, they wouldn't have interfered with each other, which I might start doing because I have such a small rolling area there, and when they go through my tower, they kind of bash into each other down there at the bottom. Second action, I feel like it's a waste of an action just to try to hit somebody with 1 hit point. Does Zargo have any type of area damage she can do? No, that's not really a fighter's thing. So, all right, whatever. Her second action, she is going to strike again at that same target. Nice, a 10 plus her, I believe, 6 with her bastard sword. Yes. So it's gonna be a 16, which is a hit. Good job, Zargo. And I don't have to roll damage. That is a kill. So another worker down. Good job, Zargo. Zargo has 1 action left. She's kind of, I feel like she feels pretty secure right now. She's not gonna, normally I would have her raise her shield for her final action. That's just kind of her default go-to, but she's feeling pretty confident. She has just been whacking. I'm not gonna finish that sentence. Whacking these people off. She's been murdering these people, which she's said she wasn't going to do, but I'm a really terrible GM and I have not been doing that. She is going to attempt to hit this person, her next target, with an 18. That is a hit because she has a +1 to hit with that, which still brings that to a 19. So she is going to hit this with non-lethal force. I believe Pathfinder rules, trying to do non-lethal damage, you take a -2 to your hit. I don't really agree with that rule, but we'll play that. So it would only be a 17 to hit, which is still a hit. Where does she hit? We'll roll that one first. In the right arm. For how much damage? 10 points of damage. All right, but it's going to be unconscious damage. So she does bring it to 0 hit points. And this is going to be the first enemy that they have not slain yet. I'm going to give it the little sleepy marker. So it's unconscious. Good job, Zargo. That was 1 turn and 2 enemies downed. Good job. Right. That brings us to the lady. She has 1 person here to command and 2 over there. I think she's going to get the attention of these 2. The one on the boat maybe just couldn't hear her right away. You know what? Does she get the attention of all 3 of these? I'm going to say it's likely. 56? Yes, she does. Okay. You know, why not? We're actually really slaying through these. I didn't think we were going to, but it's kind of just chop, chop, chop. Well, I mean, for Zargo, it's chop, chop, chop. All right, so she's going to command these 3 on their turn. They are going to begin their journey over. And actually, you know what? With that roll, she's going to send the rest of them. Because there's only one other little fella over here. Round 4, we are back to Brack. He did pick up his weapon on his previous turn. There's nobody really close by him. If he strikes at that one or that one, he'd have to be taking a -1 because ally is giving lesser cover. Brack's going to use his first action just to sidestep up here. Since this person's dead, we'll just drag their body down there. It doesn't matter where they're at. So Brack is going to strike at the one directly to his north with his second action, first strike. with a +9. A 10 and a 9 is going to be a 19, and that is going to be a D4 +4. Where does he hit? We'll roll that one first. In the left leg. He kind of like, as he throws it, he's kind of keeping his weapon hip level and throwing it almost like a, kind of like a frisbee. D4 +4, that's 8 points of damage. I don't need to tally that up. He would get an extra 2 for his ability. But that's going to bring them to 0. This fight was actually pretty easy. He did not try to not kill them, even though Zargo asked him to. So Zargo's probably going to have something to say about that. But then, of course, it's going to be an easy retort to that is, but Zargo, you did not try to prevent any deaths yourself, except that one that your GM happened to think about at the last second. Third action, Brack is going to use his tongue, because that is just within 10 feet. 5, 10. Oh, yeah, perfect. So he's going to use his third action to regain his star knife in his hand. His tongue, lightning strikes the handle, brings it back, and he just drops it, boom, perfectly into his palm. And he is ready to fight in the next round. Vega, who is currently holding a bow in her hand, which she would not take a penalty when striking. But to pick her bow up, she would have had to drop her sword on the ground. So, I'm going to say it's a free action for her to drop her bow. But it's going to be the same deal as it was last time. It's going to be one action to pick her sword up. Second action, strike at the worker to her north with her short sword. And that's going to be a 13 plus a 19, which is going to be a hit. Not quite a crit, though. That's going to be a d6 plus 6 for her sword. Where does she hit? Torso. She just kind of like puts one arm on the shoulder and she just kind of like does a couple thrusting motions into the stomach of this halfling here. D6 plus 4. Oh yeah, that's death. She just prison style shanks this worker in the stomach as the blood just starts to pool out, and it just kind of like clutches its stomach, drops to its knees, looks up at Vega for a second before falling slumped over with its eyes open, dead. Okay, good job, team. Wow, we're just really knocking them out. This might be a short episode. Now we're back to the enemies. We'll start with this one. That one could get to there on that turn. I'm not going to sit here and count out each individual square because it's not really going to matter. None of them are going to make it there in time this round. Zargo is up, however. And there is only really one enemy. Man, we got a pile of dead bodies down here, though. I like that. Just make sure nobody is on top of each other. I'm going to move these bodies around just a little bit just to kind of see what's going on over here. Okay, so that way I can tally up XP at the end of this, because this is going to be a good chunk of XP. Zargo is going to 10-foot step up. She's going to strike with her first attack of this round, second action. A 19, good job. That's going to be a 30. Holy cow. Which is definitely a critical success. Where does she hit? In the right arm. For maximum damage. I don't even have to do the adding or the doubling. Just that one roll alone killed this one. What was that? The right leg? Where was it again? Right arm. I think it actually was the right arm. Cool. She just kind of swings with so much might that it comes through, cleaving through the arm and stopping in the rib cage, kind of like cleaving a lung. You hear a very sound as this one also falls onto this pile of bodies, and the blood from all these bodies is just starting to accumulate and pour over the edge of the dock here into the water, beginning to just make a murky ink drop into this stinky, smelly, I'm sure, waterway. Zargo's going to forfeit her last action. Halfling Troublemaker has nobody to command. Alright, one of two things. She's definitely just not going to stand here and wait to be shot in the face by an arrow as all her workers just disappear around this corner. It's almost like a cartoon episode. She keeps sending in her allies around the corner and they just all keep dying, but she can't see what's going on. Okay, so I have two ideas. She's going to go into one of these two rooms above her, but which one is she going to go into? 1 to 50, the left room. 51 to 100, the right. 05, she is definitely going in the left-hand room, and we will take care of that later. So she disappears out of the scene for now into that door. Round 5, Brack is up. Brack is going to, I'm going to say, takes 10 feet of movement to kind of squeeze between Zargo and this barrel. So that's 15, 20. Brack has 35 movement speed because he's a beast. Hey, I mean that's roll 20. That's not me miscalculating anything. Roll 20, not roll 20. That's Hero Labs. 30, 35 for his first action. Second 2 actions, he's going to ready an action. If anybody moves within 20 feet of him, because that's the distance of his star knife, he is going to attack. So if anybody moves into these 2 squares here, he's going to attack them. Vega is up. Vega has 3 actions this turn. She has nothing in her hands. Her first action, she's going to grab a potion out of her bag. Second action, she's going to drink that potion. 2d8 plus 5. That is 18 hit points, if my math is correct. Nice. Got her back up within pretty good range, and that was just 1 potion. Awesome possum. She still has 1 action left. She's going to pick her bow up, which is still laying on the ground, and that was all 3 of her actions. Next up, we have our enemies here, our workers. First one, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and 5. Boom. He or she, I don't know, steps there. I'm going to say if Brack, this was their second, they're currently on their second action of moving. If Brack is able to successfully hit them, it is going to interrupt their move action. They're going to have to use their third action to continue from where they are. Does Brack hit with his star knife? Yes, he does. Ooh, and a 16 plus 9 is a 25, which is a critical success. Good job, Brack. Where does he hit? In the right leg. I really like this new dice. I'm digging that. In the right leg, that's going to be a d4 plus 4, plus 2. d4 plus 4 doubled, and then plus 2. So 4 and 2 is 8. Doubled is 16, so it doesn't matter. 4 and 2 is 6. Doubled is 12. Sorry, my math is not that great. Either way, it's dead. That's all I know. But Brack's tongue is not long enough to pick that one up. He does have 2 star knives on him, however. But it's not his turn. It was currently that one's turn. They died while they were just running forward. I'm thinking this worker's just like, boom, booking it down these planks here. Brack just pulls back, launches his star knife with like a nice sideward throwing attack, and it just plums. It just plants itself into the leg of this worker, and they just kind of like tumble on the ground. Doof, doof, doof. And in the midst of their tumbling, they just kind of like break their neck, and they're laying there. And you know what? Actually, since I just kind of like randomly made that up to describe it, I'm gonna say that they are unconscious. They're not dead. They broke their neck and they are just paralyzed, laying here. So that'll give us another one we can maybe take into custody, and the government might have to give them some disability. Regardless, we still have 2 enemies up here that need to take their turns. 3 actions, and they're going to be standing right next to Brack as well. Zargo is up. Zargo sees Brack beginning to be surrounded by enemies. She's going to use her first action to 5, 10, 15, 20-foot step up. Second action, she is going to strike with her bastard sword that has just been slaying these workers. With a 5 plus an 11 is a 16, which is a hit. Where does she hit? In the left leg. Oh, Zargo's just a leg chopper, man. She might as well have been a lumberjack in a past life. That's going to be a D8 plus 4. It's going to be 10 points of damage as she chunks this left leg. She doesn't cleave it off, I always say. She just cuts the leg off with ease, which, I mean, would happen, I feel like, accurately. But this time she doesn't. She just kind of like thuds into the bone. Maybe this one had like an implant in its leg, so it's bone. Or maybe it had like a metal peg leg. We are by the ocean. Maybe it was a pirate. It had a metal peg leg. And Zargo just kind of chunks into that, pulling it off and somehow killing it? Hey, I don't know. I just make stuff up off the top of my head. Zargo's third and final action. She is going to strike at the worker just to the left of Brack there, with a second action, which is going to be a -5. A total of +6. And 11 and 6 is 17. That's going to be a hit. Where is this going to hit? In the right leg, as she's, of course, the leg chopper. D8 plus... Zargo. You know, maybe me complaining earlier in last episode about the dice, they kind of changed their tune. And I did a very bad GM job again, and did not state that Zargo, the one attempting to not kill people, just killed 2 more people. You know, I'm new at this, is gonna be what I'm gonna say. That effectively ends all the workers in this warehouse. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Yep. And then 12 and 13 would have been... Alright, that's the end of the warehouse warfare. It's more like warehouse slaughterhouse. Maybe that's what I'll name this episode. Alright. Okay. Combat's over. Our heroes... Vega kind of steps over this unconscious body here, walks back over to her friends. I believe that seems to be the end of them. No more are coming our way. Yes, I feel the fury in me kind of took over. I didn't intend to murder all these people, but they just kept coming, and my sword just kind of dug into them easier than I thought it would. Yes, Zargo. What was that you told me before we entered? Knock them unconscious? I saw you sever multiple limbs, and forgive me for saying, but it did seem like you enjoyed it just a bit. Zargo does kind of look a little ashamed, but she nods her head. Alright, so what are our heroes going to do now? I think that's actually a good place to... No, we'll do a little bit more, and then I'm gonna end it. I'm gonna have them search this floor here, because Zargo wants to find this item that she's been searching for. Now, I'm gonna ask the fate chart if, because they're gonna spend a little bit of time, not very long. No. Let's not do that either. I know I'm going back and forth. I never know the right thing to do because, hey, it's solo role playing. There is no right thing to do. But they do know that there are these 3 little raised offices up there that they have not gone in. There's a room over here they have not gone in. So they're going to search around, and they're going to check this room down here to the south first. And they just kind of poke their head in the door. They see a few boxes lined up along the doorway there, and then they see a staircase leading down. They investigate the staircase a little bit, and it leads down into the sewers. It kind of leads... there's a short little hallway, and then there's an iron gate that opens up. It's unlocked. They very plainly see that it leads into the sewer system, which there's heavy traffic, lots of tracks in and out of here. They definitely smuggle goods in through this way as well as the front door there. So this is a pretty well trafficked area. Forgive me. For that reason. So instead of just going and venturing off into the sewers, they notice the sewers. They're going to take note of that, and they're going to come up here, and they're going to begin searching these offices, and that is where we're going to stop it. So, all right, so they're going to be on the stairs when we begin session 21 next time of Zargo's Tale. Thank you guys so much for watching. Sorry for all the stuttering and the murdering of these poor innocent civilians, but hey, we did manage to keep 2 of them alive. Those are going to be 2 prisoners we can take back and question, and maybe the chief will overlook the other 11 murders that we committed here today. But yep, as always, thank you all for joining me, and I will see you next time. Thank you, friends, and goodbye.